Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Randy, and this is a contest entry, and this is for Robert Hagerman. His channel is Robert's on My Turntable. He's part of the Canadian contingent. He's been doing some live streams with the Canadian Stud Muffin and Glenn Kellaway from the Basement, and they've also let an American in Sam St. John. But go ahead and subscribe to all those channels. And before I get going with his contest, I'd also like to say that I've been doing some videos with Rich Strickler and Glenn Kellaway and Aaron Mutha Alamer, and we've been doing a sports talk segment. But this Thursday or Friday, whenever he puts it out, it's on Rich's channel. We're going to be doing our favorite Neil Young songs. So make a look for that. I'll put a link below for Rich's channel. But back to the contest, and Robert wants us to show 5 records that influenced us in our teenage years for our future musical journey. Well, I'd say my early teenage years, I remember listening to Top 40 radio a lot, and they would have what they call the platter poll, where they play the top 10 songs at night, and I would listen on my transistor radio to see what they were. And back then, it seems like the top 40 was more varied, more diverse, and you could hear more, more genres when you were listening than top 40 music is today. But so it wasn't until a little bit later than maybe 15, 16, where I actually started getting albums. I convinced my parents to let me join the Record Club of America, and I think they sent out maybe one record every 2 months or something like that. And of course, I was blind picking when I was doing that, but I think I picked some good ones. And one of the first ones I remember getting is this Elton John album, Madman Across the Water, and I played this one to death. And of course, it has Tiny Dancer on there, and Madman Across the Water, the title track. Leave On was another. Leave On and Tiny Dancer were the big hits off here, but Elton John was like one of my first journeys into seeing there was more in music than just the top 40 hits, although he had some top 40 hits. But that's one of the first albums I remember getting in the Record Club of America. Also, I ended up picking several greatest hits when I was going, in those early days. And I didn't have a lot of albums in my teenage years. I just had basically the ones I got from Record Club of America, so they got played a lot. And one of the other ones I remember getting is this Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits. And this made me think, wow, this guy is a poet. The lyrics on his songs were just unbelievable. And one of the best put-down songs ever, Positively 4th Street. I know I played that a ton. Also, Blowing in the Wind, Times They Are A-Changin', Ain't Me, Babe, Like a Rolling Stone, which is one of the greatest songs of all time, according to me. Just Like a Woman, I Want You, Mr. Tambourine Man, Subterranean Homesick Blues, just great ones, and really started me being a lyric guy, and for a lot of my musical tastes. And so, Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits. And speaking of being into lyrics, I picked this one up too, and that was Randy Newman, Good Old Boys. And this one, he really takes on the topic of racism and some other things. And it really opened the door to me on what music could be. And Rollin' is still one of my all-time favorite songs. It's just a cool song. Got Rednecks, Louisiana 1927, about the flood, Birmingham, just full of great songs. And a great lyric writer was Randy Newman, great on the piano as well. And of course, now he does lots of soundtracks and other things. But I wasn't just into lyrics. I also ended up getting this Steppenwolf's Greatest Hits. It kind of made me a rocker, I guess you could say, back in those days. And it had some good stuff on there. Born to Be Wild, Rock Me, Hey Lottie Mama, Snowblind Friend, a wonderful ballad written by Hoyt Axton about cocaine usage. And Magic Carpet Ride is another great rock song. But this kind of opened me up to, you know, a little more of the harder rock edge. And then I got don't get on me about this, but this became about like my senior year in high school. This became like my favorite band. I got this Styx too. They were a little more progressive back in these days, and this has the big hit on here was "Lady," which was a ballad, but they also did some rockin' songs on here, and it's a lot of kind of progressive, and they use a lot of classical stuff on the second side, but kind of expanded my horizons into progressive music, even though I still don't have a lot of progressive music in my collection. But I became a Styx fan, and I can remember being in college, and the guy lived across the hall in the dormitory. He would say, Styx sucks, and I would say, Elvis Costello sucks. And little did I know that in a couple of years, I would be a huge Elvis Costello fan, and Styx kind of went by the wayside, but I still like Styx for nostalgia's sake. And anyway, those were my early influences. Hope Robert's way over, I think, 700, which is what he was going for. And everybody subscribe to Robert's channel, and hope everyone's doing well. It's supposed to snow a bunch here in Kansas City, but we'll see. Talk to you later.